September is National Preparedness Month, and this year's theme is Preparedness Starts at Home. So today I just wanted to go over some ways that you can make sure that you are prepared if and when disaster strikes. Welcome back to Ham Radio HQ. If you are new here, I post tutorials, gear reviews, and tips to help you in your ham radio journey and to stay prepared. If that sounds good to you, take a second and hit that subscribe button. So National Preparedness Month was actually started by FEMA back in 2004, following the September 11th terrorist attacks in 2001. And its goal is to empower and prepare Americans for disasters and emergencies. So whether it's natural disasters such as wildfires, hurricanes, tornadoes, or winter storms with widespread effects like we saw here in Texas and Oklahoma in 2021, disasters can strike without warning, and when they do, preparedness can save lives. FEMA says that there are 4 key things that every household should do to be ready for disasters. And those 4 things are: know the types of emergencies in your area, make a family emergency plan, build an emergency supply kit, and get involved in your community. And today I'm going to focus on some steps that you can take right now, including radios, apps, and some other gear that I have either tested out for myself already or that I find interesting enough that I will be adding to my kit. Some of the links that I'm going to be sharing with you today are affiliate links, and I do earn a commission on some of these products if you shop using these links. And shopping these links just is another way to help support the channel. So the first step in preparedness that I recommend is the most important step, and that is having at least 2 reliable ways to receive alerts. For me, one of those ways is a NOAA weather radio. Personally, I use this Midland radio, which has worked great for years, and I've had several of these radios that have been passed throughout my family, and they work really well. I also have some scanners that I use, like my SDS 100 that has a NOAA weather radio feature on it, and also mini ham radios already have a NOAA weather radio feature built into them, or you can program the NOAA weather radio frequencies into your radio. But just keep in mind, when you're programming these frequencies into your radio, make sure to select transmit inhibit so that you don't accidentally key up on these frequencies. And I will drop a link down in the description below where you can actually find the correct NOAA weather radio frequency for your area. So beyond radios, I also recommend that your wireless emergency alerts feature is turned on in your phone settings. And one more option that I like as well is actually the Barron Critical Alerts app, and it allows you to configure weather alerts for your area or any area where you will be traveling. And really, it's just a solid backup in case other systems fail. So once you have a way to receive alerts, your next step is having a plan and building a supply kit. And FEMA recommends essentials like prescription meds, glasses, and important documents in a waterproof case, food and water for at least several days, flashlights, batteries, chargers, and a first aid kit, sleeping bags, extra clothes, and cash. And don't forget hygiene items, baby supplies, or pet needs if that applies to you. And I'll link the full FEMA checklist down in the description as well. And that FEMA checklist is a great starting point. And if you already have a supply kit built, now is a great time to check expiration dates on things like food, medications, and make sure that batteries are fully charged as well. And I think after this video is a perfect time to go and make sure all those things are topped off. So now let me just show you a few things that are either already in my kit or that I will be adding to my kit this year. And again, if you've already built your kit, now's a great time to go and check and make sure all of your supplies are topped off and restock any supplies that need to be restocked. And if you're starting from scratch, I hope this at least gives you a good baseline. So the first thing I want to show you guys is this emergency radio from Ratty. And this emergency radio actually has a 10,000 milliamp battery that can also charge your smartphone, tablet, or any USB powered device. But I think the coolest feature beyond it also being a power bank and a weather radio is it is also solar rechargeable. So if you're not in a place where you're getting full sunlight, you can also recharge by hand cranking or USB-C charging if somehow you have power available as well. So again, I think this radio is really cool. This is something that I'll definitely be adding to my kit this year. This is not something that I already have, but again, it also has a NOAA weather radio on it as well. So it's perfect radio for any kind of disaster, I think. I'm going to show you guys a few flashlights. Now, I already actually have a few of these flashlights personally, and these have worked really well. And the first one is the Streamlight Stinger LED flashlight. I've had one of these for, gosh, probably 5 or 6 years now, and I've beat the heck out of it using it for really just all kinds of different things. I take it camping every time I go camping, and I've beat this thing up. I've gotten it soaking wet, dropped it in puddles, and I've dropped it from high up, and just all kinds of abuse, anything you could possibly think of. And Streamlight has a good warranty program as well. So the Streamlight Stinger is a great light if you're looking for one. It's a little bit more pricey. It's about $115, but right now it does look like it is on sale for about 6% off on Amazon. And then with that light as well, you could also pick yourself up a battery for the Stinger as well. They run about 20 bucks on Amazon. They're actually 39% off right now, apparently on Prime. And one more thing that I forgot about the Streamlight Stinger, it does have a drop-in charger as well. And I think you might be able to charge it from USB-C. So that could be an option as well. And then the next thing I'll show you is this little pin light Streamlight as well. These run about $23 or so. And I've had one of these lights for, gosh, I probably had it just as long as my Stinger. And I put that thing through a ton of abuse as well, working on cars and stuff. And it lives in my pocket. It's my EDC flashlight that I carry around everywhere with me. So the Streamlight pin light, it's pretty bright actually for its size, but there is another model of this, and the light's USB rechargeable with a USB, as you can see here. So I don't have that particular model. It's about $56, and it looks like Amazon says 54% off, usually about $123. So that could also be another option for a flashlight as well. And again, it recharges off of USB-C. And there's another one that's also another USB rechargeable flashlight, and that is the Streamlight Pro Tag. These are, like I said, very high quality flashlights, and they're really bright. And this one just looks like it's pretty well built. I haven't used this one personally, but this one looks like it's $70 right now on Amazon. And then the next thing is mechanics gloves. And the reason that I recommend mechanics gloves is if you got to cut wood or something, or you need to do something with your hands that could, hurt your hands or whatever. These are great gloves. I have several pairs of these gloves for, yard work or working on cars, many different things. And these gloves are pretty durable, honestly. I've never had them rip or anything like that. The next thing also that I want to show you guys is an IFAK kit. And you can see this one comes fully stocked. This one's about $80. I haven't used this one, but this is something that I will be actually definitely adding to my kit. And I mean, this has all kinds of stuff in it. It has alcohol prep pads, sting relief, soap wipes, emergency bandages, some compressed gauze, a cat tourniquet, some trauma shears, just a ton of stuff in this IFAK kit. It also looks like it's in a pretty small footprint where you could keep this in a car or put it down in your preparedness kit. Doesn't look like it takes up a lot of space. And from what I've heard, these Rhino kits are pretty good. Again, I haven't used one personally myself yet. The next thing also that I recommend, I actually have one of these myself already, but I would definitely buy a few tourniquets, or you or your family or somebody else is injured and they, have serious bleeding from a limb. A cat tourniquet would probably come in handy in a situation like that to, keep somebody from bleeding out. I might pick up a couple more of these just to add to my kit, but I definitely have one that I carry around regularly with me. North American Rescue is a very trusted brand, so that is why I recommended them here. They're about $30 each. The next thing on my list is this 20,000 milliamp hour battery from Anker, and I have one of these, and I gotta say, it lasts me a long time. I probably charge this thing maybe once a month, and it charges via USB-C or USB micro, and it stays charged. It's charged my phone probably 3 times off of one single charge, and I use my Anker portable charger all the time when I'm traveling. When I'm live streaming during Hamfest, my GoPro's connected to it, and it lasts the entire time. So I do highly recommend these Anker chargers as well in your Go kit. And this wouldn't be a ham radio channel if we didn't actually talk about ham radios. So something that I think I'm going to add to my kit now, I have a ton of different HTs, but I think there's just something to be said about the Baofeng UV5R. I've got one up there on the shelf, and that thing's lasted me a long time. I've beat the heck out of that thing, but these are kind of disposable. It is important to have a communications plan as part of your preparedness kit. That's not something that we went over earlier. I might make another video on that before September's over, but I do think it's worth noting that, these might be worth adding to your Go kit. And the reason that I say that is that they actually have a USB-C battery charging option on these radios. So, you can charge them through the drop-in battery charger, or you can charge them via USB-C. So if you buy the Anker portable battery, or you buy something like that Ratty portable power station and weather radio that I mentioned earlier, you could charge these radios off of that with a USB-C. So this is certainly something that I think is worth putting in a kit, even if you have something like an Anytone already. Those don't have USB-C charging that I'm aware of right now. So, these are great in a pinch. These may not be the most clean transmit radios, but in a pinch, an emergency situation, if you program these with the right frequencies, which you can actually program channel memories into these radios using the Chirp software, these could definitely be a great option in a pinch. This comes in a 2-pack, so you have one radio for you, one radio for somebody else. And along with these radios, you can also get an extended high capacity version of this battery as well that is also USB-C. These run about $19 or so. So in addition to the 45 $25 Baofeng 2-pack. Again, another extra $20 and you have 2 additional spare batteries. So those are 2 things that I think are worth putting in your bag as well. So now let's go on to some other things that aren't radios and flashlights and medical supplies. This is not actually something that I'm currently carrying, but I found this little Mallow Me camping cookware mess kit. So what this is a super portable camping pots and pans set. It comes with all kinds of different stuff in it. It looks like it comes like a little wooden spoon and a camping spork, and just comes with a couple of different things that you could use, and it's supposedly portable stove compatible. I don't have a portable stove listed on there yet. I'm still trying to find one that I actually like, but this is something to have in your preparedness box as well. And then another thing too that I'm definitely going to be adding is a fireproof bag, which this bag is not only fireproof, but it's also waterproof. So to keep things like, you know, important documents like insurance cards and maybe some money or some credit cards, something like that, having those in your preparedness kit as well is important, but you don't want them to get ruined. You know, say you're in a flood or something, you don't want all those documents to get ruined. So something like this little fireproof bag, you know, if a fire happens, God forbid, or a flood happens, it should be safe inside of there. But it is definitely something that I am looking to include into my kit. And one other thing that I think is probably overlooked in a preparedness kit as well is a fire extinguisher. You know, if you're in a situation like a tornado or something where, you know, there's a lot of opportunities for fires to happen in a disaster zone, or maybe you're trying to cook something and a cooking fire occurs. Well, having a fire extinguisher is kind of important as well, just to make sure if there's a fire, you can stop it before it spreads to anything important or it injures somebody. And the next thing on my list is a sleeping bag, and actually found this Mallow Me. It looks like it has pretty good reviews. I haven't tried this one out either. I definitely plan on trying this one out. It has a $2 coupon and these are for $25. It looks like it's a little bit of a lightweight one, but it says it works in cold and warm weather climates, but it has different options for different climate temperature ranges. So find the one that works best for your climate. So I think another thing that I'm going to be adding to my kit that I overlooked from the beginning was a can opener. In my preparedness kit, I actually have several canned goods. Make sure to have one of these in your kit. I mean, they're super cheap, like $10. There's no reason not to have one of these in your disaster preparedness kit. And then something else I think is overlooked is a pen and paper. So, you know, for $10, you can get a 40 pack of Bic mechanical pencils, and for $12, you can get a Moleskine notebook. And having a way to write things down in a preparedness situation, I think is really important. You know, if you're listening to your radios and you're trying to get some information on, I don't know, maybe a reunification zone or, you know, a Red Cross assistance area, something like that, having a way to write that down, you know, an address, or just write anything that may be important to write down and take some notes. This is a great way to do that. And then another thing that I'll be adding as well is just some N95 respirators. If you're in an area, you know, again, tornado damage, something like that, if there's all kinds of dust and debris and stuff in the air, you know, you don't want to be breathing all that in and getting sick. So, you know, these are just something that are, you know, cheap enough that you can put in the kit and small enough to put in the kit as well and not take up a lot of space. And actually I already have these in my box that I keep in my car, and trash bags have more than just a use for trash. Personally, I keep them in my car because, you know, if I'm in a situation where, you know, say a hailstorm breaks out my window, so I can, you know, put a trash bag over the window so I don't get more water in my car. But it's also a way to keep things like clothes, you know, wet clothes or anything that's wet or something, you know, along those lines, keep it dry or keep it from getting other things wet. So trash bags, like I said, have many different uses, and you don't have to buy these certain trash bags, but I just wanted to mention this because I think it's an item that some people overlook in their kit, and I think it could be helpful in a preparedness situation. Also, another thing is I think a good set of pliers. The thing that I liked about these, and I haven't tried these ones out either, but these kind of have like a little bit of a needle nose to them, you know, so if you need to turn something off like a gas line or a water line, you know, maybe it's a winter storm and all of a sudden you have pipes bursting in your house, and going out to the garage to try to find tools or something to get the water shut off, it can get a little bit crazy for some people. So having these in your box ready to go, you know where they're at, they're easy to access. So again, you can shut off water if you need to, gas lines, or anything that you might need to do with these. I recommend the rubber grip ones just so they're non-sparking. If you are working around electrical stuff and you bump into some kind of electrical cable, you know, you don't shock yourself. Another thing is some hand wipes as well. I found these hand sanitizer wipes. These are supposed to be like medical grade wipes. They're $8 and they come in a pack of what, like 100 packets. If the box is too big to fit in your preparedness kit, you could always just take them out of the box and put them in something like a Ziploc bag and save some room as well. Being able to clean your hands before you cook or something like that and prevent foodborne illness. Another thing that I saw on the FEMA website as well was a whistle, so that, you know, you can whistle and get somebody's attention. You know, maybe you need rescue or something. And the reason I picked this one is because the whistles with the P inside of them, a lot of the times sometimes they're like a particle board, and if they get wet, the whistle just doesn't work very well. I've owned a couple of these whistles before for hiking and stuff. These whistles don't have a P in them, so you just blow into them and they're pretty loud whistles. So something else too is a USB-C phone charger, or whatever kind of phone charger that your phone takes. And that Anchor portable battery that I showed you guys earlier, or the Ratty power station and weather radio. Having one of these is kind of important, so you can charge your phone, make sure it's charged up. I actually bought these USB-Cs for my car, and these have lasted actually the longest out of any other cables that I've bought for my phone that I keep in the car. And I don't know what I do to phone cables, but I always trash them in the car, and I've had these now a little over a year, and they've lasted me. Usually I'm replacing those things like every 6 months, but these ones have lasted the longest and have not shown any sign of wear or tear yet. So again, just having whatever charging cables your phone takes is something that I think is important to keep in your preparedness kit as well. And then the last thing is, well, you got to have a place to put all your stuff for your preparedness kit in. And I actually own several of these Homesy storage bins. I think these things work really well. I've beat the heck out of these two. I keep one in my car. I've got stuff in the garage in them, but the one in my car slides around all the time in the back of my car. And these have been sliding around the back of my car for probably about over 2 years now in the Texas and Oklahoma heat, where plastic tends to get really brittle. Well, mine have not broken yet, and they're not brittle at all. They've worked extremely well for me. So these are the tubs that I personally recommend as far as building a preparedness kit with. And I also recommend building a kit not only just for home, but also for the car. So me, I already have one for my car that I keep in there, but I do actually need to go and build another one for my house. So all the things that I listed in this video are probably going to end up in my house kit, and the ones that I don't already have in my kit for my car are going to be ending up in there as well. All right, so I want to hear from you. Are there any items that I mentioned in this video that you'll be adding to your kit? Or maybe you have something that you think that I should add to my kit that maybe I didn't mention here. Either way, let me know down in the comments section below. And if you want to check out any of the items that I mentioned in this video, I will leave a link in the description. So again, preparedness really does start at home. So either way, I hope that you found this video helpful. Or maybe this video just inspired some other way that you think you should be prepared. Maybe you're just starting out building a preparedness kit. Hopefully this is a good guide for you and provides a good baseline for you. Or maybe you already have your kit built and you may be looking for some other things to add to it. Well, I hope this helps you as well. So thank you guys for watching as always. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you get notified when I upload new videos. And until next time, guys, 73.